Okay, welcome stampers. Good to see you. It's Marilyn here with Stampin' Creations with Marilyn. Today I'm going to share with you another look at making a gift bag. I did one a few days ago and I will show you a couple of those as well. And then this one includes a card, a matching card that goes on the outside. So I have a couple other things to share with you. Exciting week this week because the new catalog is starting tomorrow at noon. We can order. So I will be sharing some of the items I've already received at, what have I got? About 3 o'clock tomorrow. So again, you can tune in with me then and we will go through the catalog page by page. Not every page, but I'll certainly have things to say about every page, I'm sure, and share some of the new items with you. But for today, I'm going to switch you down to my work surface and we will get started with our craft for today. So, just give me half a sec here. Now, check to see that everything is going where it's supposed to. Looks like it is. So, again, welcome. Welcome. I have in front of me to share with you my hostess code, which you know about. If you're going to purchase from me online, I would love to have you use that code. Really appreciate it. And I appreciate you sharing these videos that I'm doing, Facebook Live, whatever you want to call them. And for everyone that shared up until June 9th, I will put your name in a draw to attend our stamping staycation. This is an event that two other Stampin' Up demonstrators and myself are working on. It's all online, but you do not have to be on Facebook because we will be sharing the videos and the PDFs for all the projects with you after the event. So you could register anyway. This is where you would go to register. We do have a number of people already registered, and if you are one of those who shares and wins my draw, I will refund the $47 to you. So hopefully you can join us. And let's get on to our project. So first of all, I'll show you last week's bags that I made with the help of fellow demonstrator Lillian with Stamper's Niche. And these were kind of a thin, tall bag, as you can see. So that was one more of the masculine theme. This one is more, I would say, feminine. It has the poppies, and both these designer papers are being retired. So I'm on a mission this month to try and use my designer paper. And for today, I have this bag with the matching card and a card holder. As you can see, the card stays in there, and I'll show you how to do that. And I haven't yet, just a little short on time lately, but I do have some ribbon that I intend on this particular one, putting it for a handle. So you could handle or no handle, use just tissue paper and hand it like this. I did make a number of these at Christmas one year, and for an event I was at with fundraiser for Kinets, and I used them as gift bags for anyone who donated. So, and then this one is done with, again, the Come Sail With Me designer paper that's retiring, but a more masculine look, thinking of Father's Day coming up. And as you can see, you can leave it blank. You can just put a paper there and write on it. You can write it inside the card. Very versatile. So I will carry on and get you started with it. And I will post in the comments of this video more of the sizes and what exactly I did. So to begin with, you need 2 sheets of designer paper the same. Doesn't matter what's on either side, you have to decide which way you want them. But you do need 2 the same, unless you want your front and back to be different. And that is a possibility, I guess. Kind of not for me, but it is. So to begin with, I have chosen these Magnolia designer paper because there is no direction to it. I do have one that I'm going to show you pieces of where I've got the tape put that does have direction, and that's just a little more difficult with how you're going to do your scoring and your cutting. So I've got my scoreboard here. It is a great tool to have in your tool bin. It comes with a scoring tool that's thicker and thinner, and for designer paper like this, I would use the thicker one because you don't want to cut right through it. So the first sheet of 12 by 12, you're going to score at 1 inch, and that'll be your top. Then you're going to turn it and score it at 3 inches on all the other sides. And I like to do it lighter, but do it twice on each of the score lines. So that is your first piece. Then your next biggest decision, of course, is to decide which side you want out. And I think on this one, I am going to put the lighter side on the outside. So just because I've made that decision, I am going to fold my top banner, as you can see here, fold it down. So I think, oh, okay, that is what I decided. Then for the next piece of 12 by 12, you are going to need your cutter, and you're going to cut off 4 inches. And that is what you're going to use. Don't throw it away. You will use it to make your card. So that's why it's so easy to match it. So we'll deal with that later. You could, if you don't have the scoreboard, you could use your scoring blade on here. I just have found that with doing this, it's a little bit easier if I use the scoreboard. So again, I want to score obviously 1 inch for the top. So that will be on this side. I don't know what you call it, the short side, the long side. And on this particular one, you're going to score it 1 inch on the two sides. And on the bottom is 3 inches. So easy measurements, 1 and 3. Just some are done at a little bit different times. So that's all we need the scoreboard for. So I will bring in my pieces. Use the bone folder to burnish it, and see where my 1 inch one is on this side. And burnish it. Then I am going to use tear and tape for this. And I'll try not to make it painful while I'm peeling that off, but for any bags or boxes, tear and tape holds much better than regular snail. And just on that note, I don't know if you've heard, but Stampin' Up is retiring their snail and snail refills, but they are going to but have for us something called Seal. And I just learned the other day the meaning behind Seal is simple, easy, adhesive laydown. So we're hoping, we haven't got to see or try that product yet, but from the videos we were able to watch, it looks like it will be an amazing addition to the adhesive family. So you'll hear more about that tomorrow and in the future as we get to use it. So I am putting my top banners down. Then I am going to fold. I'll start with the bigger one. I'm going to fold on my score lines. And again, burnish with my bone folder. I like to start with just a fold with my hands like that, and then make sure it's lined up. So when you get that done, you are going to cut on these lines. So I will just up to the 3. It's going to form there. So when they're done, they will end up like this. So that will be part of your bag. And the other one, it's a 1-inch fold or score line that you have. So again, on the 2 sides, you want to fold in the 1 inch. And on the bottom, it will be the 3 inches because it has to match the bottom on the other piece. And again, going to just trim, not trim, just cut on that score line. Some designer papers are more difficult to see this fold line. I happen to be lucky on this one. So on this particular one, you are going to put tear and tape. And I found it easier if I separated tear and tape down here and up here. This, while I'm thinking of that, this pattern and video I watched is from Rhonda Wade, demonstrator out of the States, and she was able to do it with the tear and tape, or actually she had snail she was using, but all the way down, and I found it, I liked being able to control where I took the cover off this tear and tape. So I am going to just adhere this. And another thing I'd like to mention, and I think I mentioned it last time, oh, put that one on the outside, put another one on, I guess, is that if you're placing this like this and it's going crooked, do not try to tape it off. It will kill your paper, especially on designer paper. So just cut it off and start again like this. Add an extra tape. Whoa, sorry about that. Okay, so we've got our tape on there. So this one is going to end up folding in like this. So right now I will peel these bottom 2. The only one. Oh, got 2. Find my take your pick tool works quite well for this. And those of you who've been around since we had the red sticky tape, as we used to call it, this tear and tape is so much easier to get the covering off of. So just tuck that up there and match your corners. And don't do that. Don't do what I did. Because, like I said, it's going to stick. Well, that's not very performance. Let's try that. I might have to fix this a little more, but there. Okay, so that is my back piece virtually. Then on the front one, because I'm going to end up with these going in like this, I'll put tape on there, and I'm going to adhere the tape on this bottom piece. And yes, I could tear it, but I found when I was doing that on the samples, if I happen to not have my fingers in the right place to tear it and whatever, that it was tearing up a little bit of the paper. So I've been using my sticky scissors, as I call them. I have these from heaven knows when, rather than use my good paper snips and get them all covered with adhesive. This is what I've been using my sticky scissors. So again, I can place that and place this one on the inside, and there is my front piece. So you can see 2 pieces. So now what's going to happen is they are just going to fit like so. So on the larger one, we will put another piece of tape on this open edge. And we can put them together. So that will go along there. And you might want to use your, oh, look at this. I didn't put the tape down the inside before I did that. Yes, I did. On the wrong side. Looking on the wrong side, folks. So I, for some reason, some of these, and I don't know, I have to do some measuring before I start the next one. This edge is not good in my world, but for this intents and purposes of showing you, I would like it to be exact, and it's not. There again. But we have learned over the years that Stampin' Up! Designer paper isn't always exactly 12 inches. I guess any of their paper isn't always exactly the measurement. So for anything exacting, you might want to double check that size before you start. So I'm just going to leave that one there for you to have a boo at. And I want to show you the other paper that I did this on, just so you get an idea for the directional. So this one has the hearts going. So when I did that, I made sure that my top 1 inch was at the top, so they would be going the right direction, not this way, on both of them. And this is where I placed the tape. Okay, on the back side, I'm going to call it. And then on the inside, around here, so that it will fold up together. And then we went on to the card and the card hanger. And because I flipped my piece of paper a long ways away, I have to pick it up. So for the designer paper for the card, we need to cut off 1.5 inches from the length. So it is going to be 10.5 inches. And our new paper cutter has exactly 1.5 inches on this side. So it's easy just to cut that off. And you could keep that for decoration if you want, or some other project. Then your cardstock, that is the back piece, is going to be our regular 5.5. And I usually pick a color that coordinates with the designer paper I've been using, by 4.25. So that is a 1/4 sheet. So that's going to be my base. This is, pardon me, going to be my card. Then I need a piece that is going to be 4 by 2 inches, and that's what these are. So if I cut 2 inches that way, and then I need to take off 1/4 inch this way, I have my piece that is 4 by 2. So I want to show you how I got this slot for, I'm deciding. I have plastic label punch. You see the similarity? And I see the similarity, but I don't see this being the right size. That's why. Okay, sorry folks. Try again. This has to be 5.5 by 2 1/4. That makes more sense. Wonder that didn't look right. I do need that 4 by 2 later. So for the classic label, if you slide your cardstock all the way down and just have it on the edge of the punch here. Punch it, slide it over and make sure it's all the way down. Punch it again and then slide it on this side to the edge. You end up with a slot that's even to go all the way across. You'll notice the little pieces, that one is the same as the punch. This one, and discovered that you can do that with this punch if you want to slide it back in and cut. You can get kind of an arrow end on the end, just kind of an extra tidbit there. So once I've got that, I would adhere it, and usually with my liquid glue or Tarrenton would really hold, and that's maybe what she used, but you just need adhesive on that little piece, and then I use my seam to be at the back of the bag. So at the front of the bag, just center that, and there's your card hanger. Isn't that cute? Then over to the card, again, like I said, make a decision on if you want this side showing, if you want this side showing. I'm going to have the green side showing. And you would just fold that in half and adhere it to the cardstock. I would, and I don't have one cut, but I will put a piece of white in here. And if I was doing stamping, I would do some stamping on it. And oh, the other piece that I was going to use. This piece that I had cut that was 4 by 2, just across, and maybe add a ribbon, maybe add a stamped image. I have one that I'm going to show you for the heart bag. Just to kind of put it all together, and then that will slide into your card holder. You've got a card, you add ribbon, decorate, embellish, however you like. And for this one, I do have the same stamp I had on that Poppies one that I will stamp and put it on for a greeting. As you can see, I'm sure you've got in your craft cupboard lots of different designs or words that you would like to use on a gift bag like that. And then once that one is attached, I would hang it on like that. So I think a great way, again, to use our designer paper. It doesn't take long once you figure out where to put the tear tape, and don't have any trouble getting it off. But I just thought it was time that I share that with you. And if you go back to my Facebook Live from last week, where I showed the larger bags, you'll find I do have another. There's the larger one again. You can see it. I do have one for a real smaller one on that one as well, and they're fun to make, and they're certainly useful to have on hand for almost anything. So just going to switch you back here, and we'll sign off for another day. So thanks. That was fun for me. I hope it wasn't too painful for you to watch the few flubs I did and whatever, but just wanted to share that with you today and remind you that tomorrow is the start of the new catalog. So I will be on again about 3 o'clock and share a number of the products I have. I certainly don't have them all. That would be ridiculous at this time of the year. Nothing to buy afterwards. And we can't buy ourselves until tomorrow except for a few things. So that's what I've got. And I'm getting some samples ready, and I'll look forward to sharing those.